Good evening and welcome to the new Global TV News Prime in Nigeria's capital, Abuja. I am Judith Peters. The embattled former national chairman and the secretary of the ruling All Progressive Congress, APC, Senator Abdullahi Adamu and Senator Iyola Omisore, respectively, were on Tuesday spotted inside the presidential villa, Abuja, where they met with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu behind closed doors. Adamu and Omisore resigned their position as leaders of the APC early last week, ahead of the scheduled National Caucus and National Executive Council (NEC) meeting, which were to be held on Monday 18th and Tuesday 19th July, respectively. Both Adamu and Omisore were allegedly compelled to resign, though nothing could be officially confirmed about the reason for their visit. It is believed that it must have been part of the effort to sort out issues surrounding the party's leadership. When rumors about the resignation of the duo emerged, the former chairman, Adamu, had been reported as saying he was not going to make any comment on the development until President Tinubu, who was away in Nairobi, Kenya, returned to the country. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has expressed worry over the behavior of some electoral personnel deployed at various levels, as well as the attitude of some party agents and supporters, a situation it noted had added to the extremely challenging environment in the 2023 February and March general elections. Edika Michael tells us more.
In a bid to review the challenges and hurdles from the 2023 Presidential, National Assembly and gubernatorial elections, the Independent National Electoral Commission are meeting with the 18 political parties in order to have one-on-one interactions on the challenges at the political parties' diverse.
As we review the general election, we also need to focus our attention on the forthcoming by-elections and the 3 off-cycle governorship elections.
INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, in his opening remarks, urged that the party agent had the role to play in ensuring free, fair and transparent elections.
The Commission appreciates the role of political parties through the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, and their roles are varied, ranging from voter education within the limits of available resources to off-cycle and general elections. The robust engagement with IPAC with the National Assembly contributed to the 4th and 5th alterations to the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended and the enactment of the Electoral Act 2022. Working in partnership with us, political parties also supported the expansion of voter access to polling units and many innovations introduced by the Commission, including the online pre-registration of voters, nomination of candidates, and the accreditation of party agents.
Yakubu further explained that the use of talks during elections to harass election officials, intimidate voters and disrupt electoral processes must be addressed, stating that the Commission's intention to review the conduct of the 2023 general election with stakeholders is to ensure that glitches experienced are rectified, and the meeting with party leaders is aimed at reviewing the Commission's performance during the last exercise and assess preparations for future elections.
The use of thugs during elections to harass election officials, intimidate voters, and disrupt processes, sometimes resulting in the destruction of election materials or even worse, must be addressed.
In his remarks, the National Chairman of the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, Yabagi Sani, insisted that INEC performance was commendable, given its ability to largely address its human resource and infrastructural constraints by introducing technology in its operations.
I must also commend our party leaders for their unflinching supports, efforts, and patriotic commitment to the democratic process, with a view to foster a peaceful, united, and productive Nigeria. It's my hope that there will be light at the end of the tunnel, so that our labor and that of our heroes past will never be in vain. There is certainly no doubt that the 2023 general elections might have come and gone, but the echoes have continued to reverberate. They do not seem to be in a hurry to fizzle out. Hence, the obvious need for stakeholders continued robust and sincere discussions on ways and strategies to make the electoral process more transparent, substantially credible, and profoundly inclusive.
At the stakeholders meeting with the political parties, the INEC chairman with IPAC formed alliances and of course reviewed those challenges at the meeting in order to conduct a free and better transparent elections in the future elections in Nigeria. Edikan Michael, Global TV News.
Suspended Governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, Mr. Godwin Emefiele, was today granted bail by the Federal High Court sitting in Lagos. He was granted bail in the sum of 20 million naira and a surety in life sum. The bail followed a 2-count charge of the illegal possession of firearm brought against him by the Department of State Service DSS. Recall that Emefiele had been in DSS custody for over a month. Emefiele's lawyer, Mr. Joseph Daudu San, has applied for his bail after his client pleaded not guilty to the 2-count charge. Daudu contended that the offense for which Emefiele was charged is bailable. Meanwhile, operatives of the Department of State Services have arrested a top official of Ikoyi prisons on the premises of Federal High Court in Lagos State. The arrest may not be unconnected with the tussle for who keeps custody of the suspended Central Bank of Nigeria Governor Godwin Emefiele. The Ikoyi prison official, who was rough-handled and shuffled into the DSS vehicle, was later released by the Secret Service operatives. A mild drama had earlier played out at the Federal High Court, Lagos State, between DSS operatives and officials of the Nigeria Correctional Service as they tussled over who keeps custody of Emefiele. Emefiele was arraigned by the Federal Ministry of Justice for illegal possession of firearms and ammunition, but was granted bail in the sum of 20 million naira with 1 surety following his not guilty plea. As defendants, lawyers were trying to perfect his bail conditions. A mild drama played out within the court premises between DSS operatives who were fully hooded and NCS over who will take custody of the embattled CBN boss. In a related development, Vice President Kashim Shettima had said Nigeria mobilized over $500 million of innovative, profitable, equitable, and sustainability food system transformation initiative. The Vice President made the disclosure while clearing a high-level meeting on the first day of the UN Food System Summit declared open in Rome, Italy, by the United Nations. Secretary General Antonio Guterres, this was contained in a statement signed by Olushola Abiola, the Director of Information in the Office of the Vice President. Vice President Shettima said the funds were mobilized through domestic resources, multi-rated development banks, international financial institutions, climate funds, leading agro businesses, and would be used for innovation finance for food system transformation, development of Nigeria's agro-value chain, and special agro-industrial processing zones programs. Stating the government's vision about ending hunger, the VP added that building on the success of the VCDP, the federal government is determined to capacity Nigerians' rural smallholders and operators, youth and women living below the poverty line to take advantage of the new special process zone. Vice President Kashim Shettima has said Nigeria is seeking real investment partnership and not handouts from the international communities. Shettima disclosed this on Monday while speaking at the Rome UN World Food System Financing Model meeting. In a statement through his official Twitter handle, Shettima emphasized that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government is poised to redefine leadership in Nigeria. He stressed that recent policies by Tinubu's government, such as the removal of food subsidies and foreign exchange market reform, are evidence of its open arms to investment opportunities. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is poised to redefine the meaning and concept of modern leadership in Nigeria, the giant of Africa, which had woken up from its slumber and is now poised to move the world. Nigeria needs to handouts, but real partnership will have removed the albatrosses of fuel subsidies and multiple exchange rates from our necks. Hence, we are seeking investment for mutual beneficiaries partnership, not handouts. He wrote, following fuel subsidy removal, Nigeria declared in increased revenue for June of about 1.9 trillion naira, from which 907 billion naira was distributed to federal, state, and local government. From President Chief Olusegun Obasanjo on Monday tasked Nigerian leaders to unlock and remove the impediment to country's attainment of its divine stature and status and being kept like an insignificant entity. The former president, who stated this in the keynote address presented via video recording at the launch of the book Reclaiming the Jewel of Africa, written by former Minister Olusegun Aganga in Abuja, said that the total dismantling of the country's reforms would be retrogressive and destructive. It stated that most of the country's leaders do not have an in-depth understanding of the position they aspire to. The Plateau government is to begin vaccination of 4.3 million cattle to curb the spread of anthrax in the state. Dr. Sipak Sasi, the director of the Plateau State Minister of Agriculture, made this known on Tuesday in Jos while addressing newsmen. He said that the state government has already brought 200,000 doses of vaccine. Anthrax is caused by the spore-forming bacterium Bacillus anthracis, which primarily affect animals such as cattle, sheep, and goats. The disease can be contracted by humans who come into direct contact with infected animals or contaminated animal products such as meat, wool, or eggs. This is the news on Prime, coming to you from Abuja Live, Nigeria Live. I am Judith. Stay tuned for more details. Welcome back. The Nigeria Senate has called in the Federation government to intervene and halt the proposed increase in the electricity tariff by distribution companies. Senator Akintunde Abiodun of Oyo Central raised the motion at the plenary on Tuesday. He expressed worries over billions of naira spent on procurement and installation of transformers through various zonal and intervention projects as a result of requests and various constituencies. Kike Lomo Okere has the details.
Addressing journalists after the plenary session, the senator representing Oyo Central, Akintunde Abiodun, says high increase in electricity tariff will impede industrial growth, job creation, and overall economic development. Adding that the proposed increase will significantly impact the affordability for the average Nigerian, thereby exacerbating the financial burdens faced by households and businesses.
That less than 1 week time frame window provided by National Electricity Regulatory Commission for comments from all relevant stakeholders is too small for any meaningful engagement. The Senate is further concerned that high electricity tariff will impede industrial growth, job creation, and overall economic development. This will have adverse effect on the nation's drive towards sustainable development and poverty reduction.
It therefore urged Electricity Regulatory Commission to review the application filed by DISCOs, taking into consideration the interest of citizens, affordability, and the need for improved service delivery. It further urged DISCOs to henceforth discontinue estimated billing and make available electricity prepaid meter at affordable price.
So subsidy has been removed on PMS, that is on petrol, that the temporary hardship Nigerians are going through, if we should allow NERC to approve any increment on electricity tariff now, will just be as if we are trying to steer an horrible troubled water.
The fuel subsidy has adversely affected the general prices of goods and services within the economy, with a very high rate of pass-through inflation. Electricity is one of the primary factors of production. An increase in electricity tariffs, as currently proposed, will increase the problem of the inflation and compound Nigeria's inflation crisis. While the pros and cons of subsidizing consumption can be debated every day, the benefits of subsidizing production is inherent. Vast multiplier effects in the local economy. I would like to back the motion, which was co-sponsored by myself and aptly read by Senator Yunus Akintunde, by calling on the federal government to intervene as a matter of urgency to halt this proposed increase in tariffs.
The committee, when constituted, will engage the Federal Ministry of Power, Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, and other stakeholders to find lasting solution to the challenges facing the Nigerian electricity sector. From the National Assembly in Abuja, Kike Lomo Okeri.
The federal government, through the Accountant General of the Federation, Oluwatoyin Mede, Tuesday noted that there won't be a delay in the payment of July 2023 salaries for civil servants. Mede made this known during an interactive section with journalists in Abuja. The Punch had earlier reported that there were delays in the payment of May and June 2023 salaries. Clarifying the situation, Mede noted that the delay in the May and June 2023 salaries was due to some bottleneck beyond the control of the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. She, however, noted that modalities had been put in place to ensure that salaries were paid as at when due. She said, for May and June, we encountered some difficulties beyond our control, but I can assure you that everything has been put in place to ensure that July 2023 salaries are not delayed and will be paid any moment from now. Also speaking at the dialogue, the head of civil service of the Federation, Folashade Yemieson, noted that workers will smile soon. Yemieson made the comment following questions surrounding palliatives to caution the effect of the full subsidy removal on civil servants. The Kano State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency has intercepted a significant haul of cannabis sativa, squashing a major drug syndicate. In the process, the AG Public Relations Officer of the command, Sadiq Maigatari, made the disclosure in a statement issued on Thursday. He said the bust, which took place in Garindal near the bridge of Woodhill in the Woodhill local government area of Kano State, resulted in the seizure of the whopping 116 bags of cannabis, weighing in at an astonishing 1,553.1 kg. The stash included 50 bags of compressed cannabis, with each bag containing 25 blocks, summing up to 1,250 blocks. In addition to 66 bags of loose quantities of the drug. He further said this successful operation was the result of a well-coordinated surveillance operation based on a fighter intelligence report along with the coordination of resources and personnel. According to him, the officers who had been on the case for 2 months were able to track and intercept the drugs, which were loaded from Lokoja and en route to Jigawa. During the operation, 2 suspects were apprehended: Jonathan Nuhu, a 45-year-old from Kanke village in Plateau State, and Muhammad Abubakar, an 18-year-old from Kuboso local government area of Kano State. Days after management of the Nigeria Port Authority and the Lagos State government commenced the clearing of shanties along the port access roads, the NPA has said there is an increased extortion along the access roads of the Lagos and Tinkan Island port complexes. This was contained in a statement on Tuesday by NPA. The managing director of NPA, Muhammad Bello Koko, during the clearing of the shanties, lamented that this act of extortion and alleged illegalities are injuries to trade facilitation. Trade facilitation is our core function, and we cannot allow these nefarious characters make nonsense of the gateway to the national economy which the ports constitute. He said in the statement, the NPA boss vowed to deal with any staff member involved in the extortion. Bello Koko said, we had in the past visited punitive measures of our staff who were complicit in such unethical practices. And I want to reiterate that once we are confronted with evidence of any of our staff involved in this act of sabotage, we would sanction them in line with the public service rules and our coordination of service, which has zero tolerance for such malfeasance. The statement added that Bello Koko had wished receiving the Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Mr. Idowu Owonwa, earlier this month at the NPA headquarters, enlisted the support of the police in tracking the extortion miners. Now on the foreign scene, China named veteran diplomat Wang Yi its new foreign minister on Tuesday, removing former rising star Qin Gang after a mysterious 1-month absence from duties barely half a year into the job. Qin, 57, a former aide to President Xi Jinping and envoy to the United States, took over the ministry in December but has not been seen in public since June 2025 when he met visiting diplomats in Beijing. The minister has said he was off work for health reasons but gave no details, speaking speculations and drawing attention to the secrecy often surrounding China's communist leadership and decision-making. China has urged fishing boats to seek shelter and farmers to speed up their harvest, while Taiwan suspended annual military drills as Super Typhoon Doksuri spreads closer to East Asia, potentially reaching deep in China. Doksuri is likely to be the most powerful typhoon to land in China so far in the storm season this year. China narrowly escaped from Typhoon Mao, one of the strongest typhoonic cyclones on record for the month of May, which was headed for China but later swung north towards Japan before dispersing nearly 1,000 kilometers in diameter. Doksuri is expected to sweep past slightly populated islands of the northern tip of the Philippines by midweek, while fierce winds and heavy rain lash Taiwan to the north. Philippine authorities have already raised storm warning levels in the capital region and dozens of northern provinces and have begun evacuating some coastal communities in the path of the storm. Let's turn to sports now. Former Manchester United striker Teddy Sheringham has predicted a difficult season for the Red Devils in the upcoming 2023-2024 season. Sheringham also said that Britain will cause other clubs problems this season, adding that the heights of Chelsea and Liverpool will improve Manchester United under manager Erik ten Hag, finished in third place last campaign. The likes of Arsenal and Manchester season finish ahead of the Reds on the Premier League. Nigeria Championship, Eyimba will face Ali Bezaji of Libya in the first round of CAF Champions League. The draw ceremony for the 2023/2024 edition of Africa's biggest club competition took place at the CAF headquarters on Tuesday afternoon. Eyimba will travel away the first leg, which is scheduled for between August 18th and 20th. The reverse feature will hold in about a week later. The winner of the contest will face either Cotton Sport Garoua of Cameroon or Cote d'Ivoire ASEC Mimosa in the next round. Eyimba are two-time winner of the CAF Champions League. Nigerians' other representative in the competition, Remo Star, are drawn against Ghana's Medema FC in the first round. Medema will host the first leg, while the second leg will hold in Ikenne. And that's it on Global TV News Prime. Don't forget we're on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly follow us across our social media platform at Global TV NG. On behalf of the production team, I am Judith Peters. Enjoy the rest of your evening.